Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the counselor's office. Another day where I'm about to lose my voice because I spent like another 12 something hours, at least it's not 20, 12 hours playing Destiny 2. That's right, day 2, grinding more old content. And in between me grinding old content, because that is the new content, people were asking me, hey, here's a laundry list of people to go check out. You should watch this video. And I'm like, okay, I'll do that because I'm tired, boss. I almost didn't want to make a video, but like I have opinions and thoughts that I'm going to do a brutally honest review. By the way, 60% of you show up as watching the videos, but not subscribing. By the way, views actually help more than subscriptions to the channel. Like it actually supports the channel more to watch the videos. But I would love to have you join the counselor's office. I've got to say my spiel. So there it is. Join now. Join. Just join. Just join. I'll be disappointed if you don't. Anyways, before I fall asleep and you have to call the 911, someone, I don't actually know how you'll be able to call because I have to upload this. So I'll upload this, then pass out. And if you don't see me in a month, send help because I live alone with a cat. Anyways, we're watching Clyde, who he has some very fair takes about the game as I do. I believe he brings criticism to the table, and he is passionate about Destiny as I am. And so when someone said, hey, Clyde made a new video, I was like, I was probably going to watch it anyways, but everyone wants me to watch some person because we react here. So we're going to react to it. And yeah, let's jump right into it. Also, shout out to all the members. Eventually, I'll get to the point where I'll actually add members on the screen somewhere, but you know who you are. Shout out to Nell. Shout out to Hades. Outsiders. And I have like 4 other members who've joined the channel. By the way, if you want to join the channel, join down below. It's just supporting the channel, and I appreciate that. Yapping enough, but we got the yap because that's part of it. That's part of the channel's yapping.
Fate DLC day 2. I didn't want to do a day 1 video because I wanted to give myself some more time to grind and see if it got better. Well, the portal's a little rough. So first, let's talk about campaign, obviously. Smooth launch, by the way. As soon as the servers came on, everybody was grinding. But
yeah, smooth launch because no one was playing.
In that campaign.
That's not true. No, there was about 100K people playing on Steam, which we know based on previous numbers that consoles roughly around the same, which is really not good. Like dramatically, the numbers we already saw pre-data about pre-orders, and it's not looking good, Chief.
Turning into that ball over and over and over got stale really quick. It seemed like some missions I was going in the same room that I've been in 5 times, and then I'm like, oh look, another shielded Minotaur. Oh,
another Shank. Oh, guys, a Hydra. Oh, another Hydra. Ooh, a Captain. Ooh, another Captain. Wait, you guessed it, another Captain. Yes, it is funny that they advertised this as it like this was a mix up to how they did this formula. And I guess it is a mix up because traditionally we've had like actual mixture of enemies to fight, like bosses. And it feels like, hey, someone hit a random generator and they like, okay, we're going to do all the generic bosses and just throw them in there. Like someone did Gmod. And if you ever did Gmod lets you customize using Half-Life assets to just make up your own games. And that's what it felt like. It felt like someone had was Forge modes for developers where they're just dropping random crap into there. I'm like, here's the boss. Here's the boss. Here's the boss. Oh, here's the boss. Oh, wait, we got some enemies here. Here's the boss. That's what it felt like.
Look, another Hydra. There was no diversity in the mission. It felt like it was stapled together, glued together. Then just forcing the ball mechanic on you over and over and over. Like by the time I got to the 3rd mission, I'm like, dude, this better ramp up. So yeah, I'm sure everybody can agree the gameplay loop was kind of boring.
And I think that is the biggest component. Like if you want story, go play the Walking Dead Telltale series. Like, that's literally just a story game. Or The Last of Us, the first game. Those are like story games. And yes, lore is important in Destiny, but I would say if you can't get the gameplay loop down, no one gives a shit about the story because you're half a fucking asleep already. Like, Destiny's a looter shooter, not it's not like playing Halo, right? That's the big difference. If you can't get the base gameplay right for a looter shooter, you might as well just, who gives a shit about the story? You might as well just watch a 10-hour video of Bife. Like, you're going to find it more enjoyable to just watch Bife talk about it than, even though I'm sure there's plenty of other good creators out there who do lore. Unfortunately, rest in peace, Mylan quit. But there's plenty of other creators out there besides Bife he's an expert, but he's not the all be all content creator. So do the service to look at other content creators. They deserve the spotlight too. Like, let's all stop sucking Bife off. Just a side note, but the gameplay was just bad. The loop was horrendous. And you think they would learn from Lightfall, because one of the biggest downfalls of Lightfall was that they would give you Strand and then they take it away. They give you Strand and they take it away. And it was like, hey, here's Strand, here's Strand, here's Strand, here's Strand. And they had the whole Mr. Miyagi focus on it. And this game, or this expansion, it's like, hey, do the arc ball. Hey, do the arc ball. Hey, do the arc ball. I'm like, and the arc ball wasn't even good. Like, they want you to collect motes. Hey, you have to kill this thing, but you can only do it in an arc ball and then collect the motes, then dunk the motes. Play Gambit. That's right. You got to play. Everyone loves Gambit. Gambit with arc ball. And it was just horrible damage. Like, I thought we were going to ramp up the damage. We're going to get cool modifiers and do crazy. No, it never happened. It sucks. I was playing Legend Campaign and I'm sitting there zapping something. I'm like, bro, holding the trigger, like zap, 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 zap. I could just kill them with one gun. And that's what makes it unbearable. Because at least with Strand, when you use Strand abilities, they die. I would rather Mr. Miyagi Strand than Dark Matter Ball, that does shit all.
The story-wise, I thought it was cool. Kind of the story that they're going with, and the devs that work on the story and tried to show us what they visioned to have. You got to remember, this campaign is really tough to follow because it's the first campaign after the Light and Dark saga. So everyone was like, what's next for Bungie? So of course, we're going to be a little critical on this DLC. But
I think I was very critical on the DLC, the story. And I shat on the story more than I probably should have. And that's mostly because of how bad the gameplay is. Like, it is hard to enjoy the story with how boring the actual game is, like the campaign, like playing the mechanic. Like, again, if you just watched and listened to the story, it would probably be really good. And it's actually like Lodi, I know people in my chat hated Lodi. I thought he was fine. I thought he was a different vibe, different kind of character. I still 100% think the whole Ikora midlife crisis is some annoying bullshit because they did the same thing with Zavala, and it's a pattern that's repetitive. Everyone has to have a midlife crisis, and I think it's really stupid and enforced. But like, outside of that, like the background, the 9 I found really annoying, just over the top. Like, I like maybe I'm doubting myself because like I want to give it the benefit of the doubt, but like Maya Sundaresh being the May villain is just also not just like, she's not a good villain. She's just absolutely not a good villain, and it just feels forced. Now, the 9 playing their part in the background, that's very interesting. And what opportunities may be arising in the future based on the 9, that's interesting. I just hope that Maya is just the Callus of the storyline, and then we just toss her off to the side just like we did Callus. Like, if she ends up being a mainline villain, I think this story is doomed, because she's like one of the worst parts of the story. And I found it more of an annoyance that she's even here.
I give it a 2 out of 10. The narrative team cooked, but I give it the 2 out of 10. The only thing that's worse is
2 out of a 10. Damn. I think the best part of the narrative was the ending. And I'm not saying that like to be facetious, saying, oh, it's over, thank God. But I actively just did not care about the story. And I was playing the game and I was telling people, like, when you tell your people watching you that I just want to hurry up and get to the end. It's not good. It's not fun or enjoyable. And I feel like why I don't like this is because it's all forced to feel like it's Destiny 3, because they do everything in their power to avoid talking about. When they talk about the collapse, they want to talk about it in a way as if to never acknowledge darkness. Like they say light, they talk about the light, but they avoid darkness. And they only mention the witness one time, but they talk about the collapse and the downfall of humanity multiple times, but we never get like a real in-depth explanation of like the collapse. Like when we're teaching this guy about what happened, we just don't tell him about we had a big standoff against the witness who threatened everything in the universe, but we've just pushed it off to the side. When they talk about Maya Sundaresh, they said she has this ability that makes her a threat, but we never explain that it's an echo, which is part of the witness. Like they do everything narratively to try to push everything under the rug from the light and darkness saga as much as possible. And it pisses me off because it's like, why can't this just be part of the historical context? Like it's all part of the history. This is part of the journey we've gone on. Like you don't have to make it a big deal. Like obviously this is not the light and darkness saga, but you don't have to act like it didn't exist. Like what are we trying to treat it like it's Rise of Iron where we just never acknowledge that it ever existed? Like I agree. It's a 2 out of 10. It's the gameplay, everything about this was just horrible. The planet, the exploration, it was just all horrible. It's a 2 out of fucking 10. I agree. Maybe after the raid, I'll change that. And I'm keeping my decision like to tell people like before I do my brutally honest review is the raid. The raid can make and break. Now, if you're not a raider, you don't give a shit. But
Curse of Osiris. I know some people might not like that opinion, but the ball mechanic and just replay.
I do think this is nearly as bad as Curse of Osiris. Absolutely.
Ability of those same missions over and over. It was just not fun. And also not being able to have a sparrow. It felt like I was in base D2 at the game and I was down IO with no sparrow, just jumping and jumping. That
I just recently did the new player experience before this happened, 8 hours playing a new character. And I know exactly what he's talking about. Like at the very beginning, you're just running around, walking across the map in the Cosmodrome, and you're like, I wish I had a sparrow. That's how I felt with this. And yes, you could use the ball, but like the ball is just more annoying, especially with controlling it, because sometimes you may bounce off an edge and fall to your death. And you're like, well, I should have just been walking because I would have not fell through that hole.
And I hate not having a sparrow. And I know you could just keep turning into the ball, but you do so much of the ball in the mission. There it is. You don't want to turn into the ball no more. When I finished the campaign, I had to get off Kepler. I literally had to go do something else on the portal because I was so sick of that mechanic. So after the campaign, I remember seeing this screenshot, so I pulled it up. It's like, okay, now we got Project Graviton awaits, which is the exotic quest for the hand cannon. People have told me that one is decent. The final step requires you to do Sieve, and you have to wait for that mechanic to that event to pop up. The world tiers. So I actually went up in the higher tiers and I was trying them. They're not really that much fun.
Exotic mission, it was a nothing burger, dude. I'm gonna be honest, the whole expansion is just fetch.ex. It was hard to enjoy the mission because it was just so generic. Like it is just another filler mission. Especially when you world tiers. I have not tried it yet. I've heard that it is challenging. Someone even said something about some of the bosses were as hard as contest mode. that's going to be interesting. So like, I'm always down for a challenge. That might be exciting. That might be where the bread and butter is. We'll see, because like I said, the missions themselves were boring as AF. Maybe making it harder will make it more enjoyable because I'm a masochist. I don't know.
Until you're kitted for them, obviously. It was cool. I went in Mythic and got one shot, but the world tier is kind of mid. Now, I do want to point out that Sieve, it's pretty cool, right? So I'm in my game right now, and Sieve, let's just say you need a class item. Well, you can come here and you can focus a class item and then go do the Sieve, and you can get class items to drop. Correct?
You can do this in the portal too. You can do this in the portal too. Like, the Sieve is nothing impressive.
If I'm wrong, chat, when you're doing the mission over and over and over, you're just going to keep getting the class items to drop. So once you get the drop that you wanted, because you're looking at your character and you're like, okay, class item's kind of below my power level, there's no reason for you to keep playing it if you're just going to keep getting class item over and over and over and over. That's what happened to me yesterday. I was actually in the event, and I think we did 5 boss kills and 4 of the drops were class items. I only needed 1.
Just so anyone knows, this event is like a mixture of Gambit and Onslaught. And honestly, I'd rather play Onslaught. Which is probably why they've pushed Onslaught back, because it's not in the game right now. Like, they really want you to play Sieve, which is weird because it's also time gated.
Because then I needed other stuff, you know? So the focusing, I get it. But that's what you're supposed to do on Kepler. You're supposed to be like, all right, now I need a heavy. So now you focus the machine gun, you open up your map, and you go do a quest. And then at the end of the quest, it's going to drop a machine gun, hopefully. And that's what all these...
So here's the thing. If you do like the secrets, the chest, like right here, and you're attuned, you will always 100% get what you're attuned to. So save those for like, you need to fit a power level. Like, I am struggling to get a gun that I need. Use these. They will fit into your power. And it's really nice. Like the attunement in here for like the secret chest, really nice.
Necessary for you to do after the campaign. But then I look at stuff like this and it wants me to do weekly story mission. I keep thinking about that ball. I don't want to do the ball. And then
I don't want to do the ball either.
Worse. When you go up a world tier, it's telling me that I need to go explore Kepler on Fabled world tier.
And you have to do it Fable, and you have to do it a Mythic. And then there's also even extra collectors things, like there's secrets you have to do. Because Bungie loves fucking secrets.
Do all these missions over again. And what's the reward? A Matter Spark upgrade. Excuse me. I don't know about that one. So let's go back to this. Look at this up here. To get this auto rifle, requires completion of all 33 triumphs under the Edge of Fate title. And that's what you got to do for this. Explore mode, Kepler. They want you to do these missions over and over and over and over and over and over. That's a tough sell. So again, that's what you're going to be doing. So now let's get into the portals.
Essentially is grindfest.ex. And you thought, hey, there's a lot to do. No. There's not a lot to do. You just have to do the same thing over again. Like, there's not like a lot of options. It's just do do this and then do it again and then do it again. That's it.
Stuff, right? Portal, you see the portal on your screen, you're like, man, this looks cool, right? You got quick play options right here. Sorry for my camera covering up, but you get the gist of it. So let's go look at solo. Oh, so I can do all this stuff. This is all old stuff. I've done a solo op. It's decent, but you know, hey, whatever.
I just want to say, like, I like the concept of the portal. The concept. The application, there's a lot of issues with the application of it. And I'm waiting to really go in detail for my really honest review on the free changes.
Okay, so let's go to the fire team stuff now. We got quick play, advanced, expert, inverted spire, glassway, technocrat, empire hunts, and then, battlegrounds. We love those. And then you got Savathun Spire, more empire hunts. You get the gist of it. Currently right now, I've only ran this encore mission a few times to get my choir. Okay. Now we're living in this. Currently this set, Bushido robes, are currently one of the best sets to get for the raid and overall. And this drops 4 completion rewards. So you're getting about 6 to 7 drops in about 15
I'm tired.
minutes.
Can I just tell you I'm tired, boss? I've grinded that mission nonstop. And it's funny, it's because I had people come in my chat like, Why is every streamer I watch is doing this exact same mission? Everyone is doing this mission. This is unacceptable. I said this when I talked about the portal being one of the worst changes in the game, because they soft sunsetted, 90% of the game. And I counted, there's only 30 activities right now in the portal. 30. Out of the entire game, you have 30 things to choose from, not including Crucible, right? Just the general activity outside of Crucible. And yeah, you could say Gambit, 31, right? But well, technically Gambit is not even part of the portal, so never mind. So 30 outside of Crucible. You can't change the power level of Crucible. That's why I'm talking about it. 30 activities. And out of all of them, there is one singular activity that is best in slot, best in efficiency, best in getting up to max rank as fast as possible before anything else. You get 5 rewards. You get 4 completion and a bonus 5 Bushido robes. Guaranteed. You're always getting robes. So if you want to, hopefully you roll lucky, you can get 4 other slots covered at premium pinnacle level. Plus 4 or 3 when you get to master mode. It is insane that only one activity, and it is a year-old exotic mission, not the new stuff. And that's my biggest complaint and my biggest criticism, my biggest feedback is that and I get that this whole system is free, power level's free. Seasonal power level is also free because seasons are free. However, it does seem really weird, and I say this right now, that out of everything Bungie does to try to incentivize people to buy their expansion, the one thing that they do not do is to make getting power level from the expansion itself the premium way to get powered up, up to like 450, but it's not. The free stuff that anyone can do is the best in slot. Like, you don't even have to buy the expansion to get to 450. You don't even have to touch the new expansion. It feels such a weird business counterpoint. Like, you're a business, you want people to buy your new thing, but yet you're not encouraging or incentivizing people to buy the expansion in a way that actually would be somewhat meaningful to the player. Like, hey, you buying this expansion, you also get access to a better power grind that, yes, you're paying a premium for. But if you're wanting to play the story, guess what? You get to play the story, and it's also the best way to earn loot. You get +5, gear drops instead of +4 or 3 in master. Like, do like Grandmaster story. Like, it caps at Mythic, which I think is such a failure. This thing needs to scale even higher. It needs to go up as high as possible. I think you should be able to get tier 5 gear from the campaign, the story itself. And that's coming from someone that thinks the campaign itself was just horrible gameplay wise. Sorry, I'm pulling the thunder from Clyde, but now that I'm kind of like sobered up from the other video where I was half asleep, technically I'm half asleep now. He's kind of jogging my mind a little bit after the long day of grinding the portal. It's I think fair criticism that it doesn't make sense that they're not incentivizing the better grind come from the new stuff instead of the free stuff. Old, that's also a year old. That it's one singular activity. It'd be one thing if all these pinnacles had the same bonus. I might actually run Kel's Fall or mix it up. Like, I would mix between 3, but literally this singular mission has the best completion rewards across the board. It's not even close.
So we're living in this mission. New content, Edge of Fates, but we're doing an encore mission on day 2. If anyone thinks that's okay, we got a problem. You can also do Whisper mission too, but it's a little eh. So then we go look at the Crucible. Not much there, right? By the way, we're going to add another comment on this Bushido. This is why it's so broken, because when you have 2-piece armor set, final blows with freshly drawn or reloaded weapons heal you. The 4-piece set, if you're using a bow, shotgun, or sword, it extends that effect. So bows, pretty cool, right? This is how I've been getting from pretty much base power level out of the campaign. 106 to 186 now. I did skip the campaign on my Warlock. Thank God Bungie gave me silver for being a Bungie creator. I did spend 2,000.
It's crazy that he's still a Bungie creator. And I think it's strictly because he has such a big audience. Who knows? Maybe one day if we become a big audience, you know what? We'll get some free silver too. And will save me some money. Oh no.
To skip the campaign on my Warlock because I didn't want to go do it again. I will do it on my Hunter, but I'll do it on 2, not 3. But this is what you're going to do to get the power level 200. Just do Encore and do missions over and over and over and over.
You don't even need to buy. You don't even need to do the campaign. You know what's funny is that there's no reason to finish the campaign on other characters because it doesn't matter. Like if you do your main character, you don't need to do anything else to get to power level except the portal. Like port over your guns or whatever, and you'll get max 200 easy. Like you don't even need to touch the campaign except for one time because it's not like dark matter, the matter spark ability. Like sure, you'll never access to that, but they're not going. It doesn't work for any other part of the game, and it won't work for the future. Like the devs have already said, yeah, the matter spark is only going to be a Kepler exclusive mechanic at this moment, for at least what they have plans for. So like, there's really no reason to do the campaign again, unless you just desperately want to use a different character to do like Mythic or something. But I'm going to be honest, you don't need to do the campaign on any other character at all. Unless you want the new exotics. Which I'm going to tell you right now. Not really that big of a deal. You're not going to miss them.
It's not a good grind for the player base. I don't mind it because I got a lot of hours in this game and I understand that this is what Bungie wants me to do to play their game. I'm praying that the raid does very well and I hope it's replayable.
Same.
But I'm kind of worried. When you're looking at the portal, it makes the game look empty. It makes it look like you don't have much to do because
you don't.
Here's the big spit in the face. This is the screen that Bungie's had since Destiny 1 that gives their game its iconic feel, and they drained the color out of this and pretty much said don't use this menu anymore. That's a spit in the face. If people want to use this menu, they should be able to use it, not just look at it and go wow. They kind of just make it look super dark and it doesn't look like this. It's a slap in the face, and
it is.
I bet you they changed something with that later, but
I hope so.
Here's the gist of it, right? If you want to go do a Vault of Glass raid, now you can customize it and you can do master. Down here behind my camera there is
customize. That is not correct. You cannot customize it. You can't customize it. All you do is choose the mode, which is what we've always had. You cannot customize it. These are preset modifiers. That's it. You can't, like, you have zero control of the old stuff.
There's no drop. There is no power level of what I'm getting. So I'm going to go into something that I'm negative 30. It says right here, negative 30 command.
It's going to be tier 1 or tier 0. Should I say tier 0? You know, the armor that you got from just playing Edge of Fate, like at the very beginning. It's soft sunset. All this loot is soft sunset.
Clue what it's going to drop at what power level. Same thing with Crota. It doesn't tell you what your rewards are, but if you go,
I'm pretty sure they said that from 10 to 200 you could do this stuff and work that way. Above that, you all the seasonal stuff is a portal, so it's pointless. You can't do Vault Glass to get the seasonal level. You can't do Crota. You can't do none of it.
in And maybe let's go into a dungeon. Prophecy, same thing. There is no power level. You go to Portal and you click on one thing and you go to customize and it tells you, oh, get the B grade, get a 191 drop. You're encouraging people to not do any of those activities on the destinations tab because we don't know what it drops. So somebody.
Yes. It's not that you don't know what they drop. We know what it drops at. It drops at a low power. Like, this is not intended. They don't want you to do this. They don't want you to play the game. They want you to play the Portal and the 30 activities that they want you to play, but they don't want you to play with the other paid product that you've either paid or just paid for. It doesn't matter. They don't want that.
Explain to me how that's okay. So back to my point, when you go to the Portal and you look at this stuff, what there is to do, the game feels empty because you're putting all the activities on one screen and it makes people feel like they lost some of the content. And don't even get me started on talking to these vendors in game. I feel like I'm playing a mobile game. What happened? Who did this? Every time you approach someone in the campaign, a little pop.
They did it to Lodi during the exotic mission. Like, it was so weird. Like, he was talking to us even through the side missions. Like, and then you get to the exotic mission and it's just it's a mobile pop-up. I'm like, what?
Pop-up comes up and it looks like a mobile game. What were we thinking here? Sorry if you don't agree with this. I'm just venting.
I'm not sorry.
Grind to 200.
I'm not sorry. You can have the opinion that you think it's good, but your opinion's wrong. You are entitled to your opinion, but you're not entitled to be, correct. The majority decides. And sometimes the majority does have intelligence to know that none of this expansion is not good. And people will vote with their money in their wallet. And fortunately, people are smart enough to not give Bungie their money anymore, which is why a lot of people have left. And why the player count, that's why. Well, thank you for that. That's why the peak was 980, or sorry, wow, that would have been really good. No, 98K. And now it went down 10K, and it's only going to go down farther down. Like, this is one of the worst launches for a new saga. Not even compared. If you go down, you look at everything besides the final shape and Lightfall, higher. Even seasons. There's seasons that are higher level than this. It's bad, and it's not looking good. I think Bungie's cooked, and I think if Marathon doesn't do well, there will be layoffs. I don't think this is going to cause layoffs, but I do think that if Marathon doesn't do well, we will see more people lose their job because it's that bad.
We're going to get 200 power level, and then we're going to grind more, and we're going to grind more, and we're going to grind more. But guess what we're going to be doing? We're just going to be grinding stuff.
Yep.
That's like Encore. That's currently what people are doing right now. When they hit 200, they're grinding Encore to get above 200. Very passionate about this game. I love this game, and I love making content on this game. But Bungie's got to do something. The armor system's cool, but you didn't make it fun to grind. One thing we were missing before Edge of Fate came out.
I think the problem is that I want to grind armor, and right now armor is completely random roll. Like, it seems like the ghost focusing is not bugged and not working because I've not really got anything stat wise what I want. So it's completely RNG based right now. I think that would be fine enough if they were to say, hey, you have to completely RNG. You have no way to focus armor, complete RNG to get a god tier 5. Okay, that alone is the farm, but you have to farm to be able to do the thing you want. You have to do the boring, unnecessary, unenjoyable process to then get to play the game. You get to play the way you want to play after you're done playing the way Bungie wants you to play. And I think that is going to kill this game. It's going to murder it. It's going to cause people to not give a flying shit about it. And it's bad. It's really bad. And I think Bungie needs to either eliminate the power grind or they need to dramatically reduce it. Like, literally get 100 levels for the season and split it in half. 50 now and then 50 later for the mid-season update. Like 50 levels because it's already unbearable. And I would be okay if they cap it at 2, 2 per piece. And then you slowly, like, I would do 2 power up all the way up. I don't know. Either way, the point is, it is such a bad design system that you grind just to grind when people would grind for loot. And that's what it should be. Let me grind for the good loot, because it's not guaranteed I get a tier 5 and it's good. It may be completely garbage. I don't know. It's not that hard to understand.
Was replayability. You had one job to give us replayability in Edge of Fate, and you failed. I've seen the reviews.
Yep.
I've seen what people have been saying. All I can tell you is final thoughts. If you love Destiny, give it a shot. Play it. I think this could crash and burn for Bungie until September for the Ash and Iron update, or maybe even to December. But Bungie,
we might get a repeat of Curse of Osiris. Like, we're putting it on the level of the concept that this is bad enough. It may have the same effect that Curse of Osiris had for the rest of Destiny, because Destiny was already a downward trend, which same thing for Edge of Fate. Destiny was already at a downward trend, and Curse of Osiris was like the final nail in the coffin. Edge of Fate might be the final nail in the coffin as well. In that concept, it is just like Curse of Osiris in that regard, in my opinion. That it very much hinges on the raid, and if you're not a raider, it's already over for you, right? You're like, I'm checked out. But it is bad.
Keeps getting away with this, chat, because there's no competition. There's no game out that's going to triple the player base. That's not until September. There needs to be a company out there that can give Bungie some competition to make them try again. And I know I say that with and I know I'm going to re-say that. And I know saying that Bungie needs to try more is kind of messed up to say, but it's true. If they were scared of losing their player base or losing to Sony, they would try harder. And if it's not the middle decision makers, or if it's the top half, my final question is, what were you thinking before you launched this content? You thought this was going to be okay for the community. Out of touch. Very out of touch. I hope it gets better. Wanted to drop this thoughts video to let you guys know how I feel. I'm honest. I love the game. It changed my life. I love the community. But man, oh man, swing and a miss. Have a good one.
It is a swing and a miss. It's really bad. It's crazy because I played the final shape and I was actually excited. And that's after Lightfall. We had a horrible year of Lightfall and I just was not excited at all. And my hype was slowly going up because of Into the Light, which, by the way, Rights of the Nine just did a horrible job. It was so boring. Ultimate mode was fine, but it was a bad event. Very mid, and it didn't bring hype, which you can see the night and day difference of hype level going to a new expansion. So my expectations were really low, and when I played it, I was like, man, I just did not have the enjoyment. I had people come in my chat that were watching me play, and they're like, man, you look miserable. You look like you're not having fun. I'm like, I'm not. Like, wasn't even talking. I was just doing the thing, listening to the dialogue. And you can just see it on my face. I was visibly not having fun. Like, there's aspects that you can have fun with, but it's just, I think I'll have more fun with the free stuff. Like the modifiers are really cool and you can really change up. Like, you can literally go around it, like Encore, usually very boring. And I really hate that mission, but it's a lot more fun when you can just spam grapple. Like, there's an actual modifier that gives you grapple and you can just keep spanning across the map. And I just having so much fun just screwing around, which is what you should do in a looter shooter. You should be able to screw around, have some fun. And that is the aspect I think is going to be great, is these new modifiers to be able to change the activity you're playing the way you want. I think it's absolutely great. But you don't need to buy Edge of Fate for that. You don't ever have to. And it's not like you can't really modify the campaign the way you want. Like, if I wanted to give myself grapple, I would have given myself grapple. I would take a penalty just to have grapple so I can grapple across the Kepler and make it far more enjoyable than freaking Matters Park. Like, that's the sad thing. There's literally a solo ops, and they took some of Kepler to where you can, have your own little mission. And I slapped on, slapped on all the modifiers. And I don't know if you can have grapple, but if grapple was one, I would absolutely take advantage of grappling across the open space instead of having to use stupid dark matter circle. Listen, don't want to hate the hate. I pay, I didn't pay Bungie. I paid a different company and I got really cheap. But there's people out there that really did pay Bungie, and they demand value for their purchase. And unfortunately, we didn't really get it. We didn't get that. And a lot of people have said they appreciate me being honest and saying how it really is versus, being the reality is I don't get paid by Bungie. They don't give me silver. They don't grease my palms, right? My job is not Destiny. It's not YouTube. Sure, I get a check from YouTube and it's nice, but it's like work. It's like you have a job, but then you go and you mow the lawns for your neighbors and they give you pocket change. They're like, here, have $1. Here, have $5, $10, whatever, that's pretty much what YouTube is to me. Like, I get paid for the job that I spent years working for. Destiny is just a hobby, and so is YouTube. But so that affords me the ability to be brutally honest and not be a shill or self-conscious about what Bungie might think about how I talk about them or their game. Like, I don't give a fuck. And I would say it to their face. I would say everything in my mind to my face. In fact, I think I'd be far more aggressive in person. When I mean aggressive, not like physical, I mean verbally. I would have a list. I would say, you need to fix this. This is how you fix it. You need to fix this. This is why you need to fix it. Why did you say this? You said this, but you never happened. Why are you doing this? What? Like, I think I do them a service and anyone else who is a Bungie supporter a service by making videos, because if I was in person, I think I would actually make people more upset than I do in videos, because that's who I am. Give me the opportunity to talk to you face to face. I'm going to use it to fill your ear with every little thing that's wrong and what I think you could do to fix it or what would be good for the community. I will give you criticism and some feedback and what I think possibly you should do. Granted, I'm not a dev, but I'm also a consumer. And sometimes the consumer is right. The customer is correct. That's how businesses should be. You're catering toward your customer, not your customer catering to the business. That's never how it's been, and that's not how it should be. I'm Mr. Gaming Counselor. Hit the like button, comment down below, and the links to Mr. Clyde's video will be down below. Yes, it was me talking more than him, but it's my video, and that's how it should be. If you're just reacting, watching the video and not saying anything, you're just stealing. And if you don't like me talking, then fly a kite, take a hike, and get bent. Don't forget to game out while you're at it. Bye-bye. Oh, subscribe. Yeah, subscribe. Do that thing. We're creaking toward 4,000. And then when we get to 4,000, we'll be close to 5,000. And then we'll be halfway to 10K, which is my goal. If there was ever a goal for YouTube, and I actually started to like really, really ramp up, it's 10K. I don't know why 10K sounds really cool to me, but it's 10K. So thanks for that. You're awesome, I think. No, you are. Yeah.